In the heart of the Uinta Mountains in Utah, an area notorious for its cryptid sightings and paranormal occurrences, an intriguing story unfolds. Casey, an explorer with a penchant for the mysterious, captures a set of peculiar images. These are not your typical stationary shots. They are taken from a moving vehicle against the backdrop of the mountains. The Rocky Mountain Sasquatch organization has reached out to Casey for more information. They are particularly interested in the details surrounding the location and time when these photographs were taken. Casey pinpoints the sighting near Farm Creek, adjacent to the mysterious Uinta Canyon, not far from Moon Lake. The date was January 15th, and the photographs show an odd figure seemingly blending in with the trees, which is an ability often attributed to Bigfoot. Casey's sister was the one who managed to take the photos, capturing what appeared to be a figure with a dome-like head, another common feature of a Bigfoot. The RMSO team is intrigued by the figure's choice to stand atop a ridge, which is definitely an unusual behavior for a creature that is very adept to hiding. RMSO knows the area well and are certain that no statues or other man-made structures exist there that could explain this sighting. This is definitely some type of creature. Furthermore, the location's reputation for being home to the supernatural, including skinwalkers, adds to the mystique of the encounter. The RMSO team, experienced in such investigations, won't be pinned down to an answer. They're not sure if it's a Bigfoot, a skinwalker, or something else. However, they agree that the figure does not seem to be human. They are working to enhance the images, hoping to unravel the mystery, so I'll keep my eyes out for an update. This next clip shows a photograph in question. It was taken by a person who was oblivious to the creature's presence while they were there. The person, who wanted to remain anonymous, was evaluating an old structure in the North Carolina wilderness to determine whether the materials could be salvaged. As they captured images of the old wooden planks one by one, the creature remained unnoticed until later. A person with the original poster spotted a grayish-brown entity peering through a gap in the woods. Now, some are saying that the commotion of these two brought the Bigfoot out of hiding. Others have speculated, though, that this could merely just be a colored tree stump. We can't really get a good perspective through the whole of that piece of wood. The image has been shipped off to the Rocky Mountain Sasquatch organization, and unfortunately they cannot confirm with either possibility. Despite the uncertainty, the OP made the decision to share this intriguing snapshot with everyone. What do you guys think? Is this a legitimate Bigfoot, or are we just looking at a tree stump? This is just an incredible video of a pack of wolves burrowing through the snow. Wolves are remarkably equipped to navigate through high snow thanks to a combination of physical and behavioral adaptations. They have long legs and large paws that act like natural snowshoes, distributing their weight evenly to prevent sinking. Now, we all know wolves travel in packs, and through the snow is no different. They are conserving energy by following in the path cut by the leader. Now, when I first saw this, I wonder why they would take the time to burrow through the snow. But come to find out, this snow actually enhances their hunting efficiency. Prey become more vulnerable in this deep snow. For example, deer have sharp hooves and skinny legs. It goes right to the bottom of the snow and essentially they bottom out. Anyhow, I thought that was a cool little tidbit to know. Our next clip features a Bigfoot sighting by a solo hiker exploring the wilderness. Surrounded by thick trees and brush, this guy was able to record a massive bipedal figure passing through. Unlike typical Bigfoot sightings, this creature appeared thinner, with arms reaching down to its feet, and it moved with a hunched posture. It didn't stand upright with its chest out like a normal Bigfoot. The man estimates that the creature stands at about 10 feet tall. However, from the photo, many are questioning that. I'm curious as to your opinion on this one. A set of crazy images surfaced on Reddit earlier this month. These photos have sparked a wave of curiosity among the viewers. The uploader captioned these images, quote, "A friend in England found this in their garden. which obviously only added to the intrigue. The initial image presented what seemed to be a small humanoid form laying in the grass. And I have to admit, this thing looks pretty creepy. Many people wrote this off as a hoax, saying that it was nothing more than an oddly shaped root or an uncommon plant. Nonetheless, a subsequent image offering a head-on view provided a clearer picture. This one showed a figure with an extended skull, easily recognizable facial features, and a distinguishable body. The second picture really had everyone going wild, and now they are wondering where this thing came from. The most popular proposition could be that these are the remains of an extraterrestrial alien. Okay, so the discussion has really gained some steam now because both of the users that uploaded these photos deactivated their accounts. Seems a little sketchy to me. This is a great video. A woman who was camping in the woods captured a heartwarming scene on video. It shows a fully grown deer and her tiny chihuahua forming a very unlikely friendship. The little dog was in its element, bouncing around and engaging with the deer, while the deer seemed to take on more of a motherly role, sitting calmly and watching the dog enjoy himself. There's not much more info about this video. She did explain that the deer wasn't hurt, but nevertheless, this is just an awesome video. And it's cool to see the sight of these two different creatures sharing a joyful moment. Okay, so I was not privy to any of the hauntings that go around at these Disney theme parks. I had heard of the conspiracies or realities, but not so much the paranormal side. Among the various thrilling experiences at Disney stands the Haunted Mansion, a timeless and classic ride that Walt Disney himself contributed to during the latter part of his life. People can't describe it, but this attraction is so captivating that there's a legend suggesting Walt Disney's presence lingered even after his passing. This isn't about fictional ghosts, but rather an alleged real ghost associated with the Haunted Mansion. In a video captured in the mid-2000s, what looks like a glowing, ghostly figure can be seen departing the Haunted Mansion, moving through the queue and into the rivers of America. The footage attracted significant attention from experts, analysts, and enthusiasts who were unable to conclusively debunk or verify the apparition. The possibility of it being a double exposure was considered and questioned. If it were, why did it only show one person, and not the crowds of people that typically move through New Orleans Square during the daytime? The idea of the video being a creation of fans was also proposed and quickly scrutinized. Many felt like if it were fabricated, how would they be able to capture the exact angle and viewpoints of the park security cameras? According to park directions, I guess they could have scaled Tarzan's treehouse with a high-powered camera, but that's pretty unlikely. Ultimately, only two theories seemed viable. Either the video showed an authentic spirit roaming Disney after dark, or it was a sophisticated hoax by someone with inside access to the park. However, it appears we would need more patience, as the truth remains elusive. Don't be elusive to the comments. Let me know what you guys are thinking about this. And please let me know if anyone has any haunted Disney experiences. That would be cool. Solo hiking is a pastime enjoyed by many. However, every now and then a sense of fear can be evoked, which I believe is what happened in this case for a woman who had a chilling encounter in the wild. On a secluded walking bridge, this woman came face to face with a mountain lion. And honestly, I don't think she could have been more vulnerable. With limited escape routes and nowhere to run and really nowhere to hide, she's forced to just face the lion head on. And look how big this thing is. This is a healthy lion. And contrary to what one might think, the mountain lion attacking what seemed like a prime opportunity, the big cat was just as taken aback and frightened as she was. And luckily for this woman, in a swift decision, the cougar chose flight over fight, ducking past her and exiting off the bridge. The woman managed to capture this intense moment on video, and obviously she later shared her experience online. It sparked a wave of reactions from viewers who unanimously agreed on her incredible stroke of luck. Yeah, you can put me in that same camp. In a moment like this, if I'm being honest, I just don't think I'm going to grab my phone and start recording. Recently, there have been claims that a photograph published in the Los Angeles Times in 1942 depicted a disc-shaped object. And they said that this object was able to take strong military force, lots of fire. Shown here is a print of the original negative alongside a photocopy of the newspaper. Observing where the searchlights converge reveals the distinct shape of the unidentified object within the lit area. It was substantial in size and appeared unaffected by the numerous anti-aircraft shells exploding near and on it. I mean, this thing was showing no signs of distress. However, the ground suffered casualties, with at least 6 people losing their lives due to the military's response to the UFO, which was floating casually towards and over Long Beach before vanishing. In February 1942, Katie, a young, attractive, and successful interior designer and artist known for her work with Hollywood's elites and film industry stars, lived on Los Angeles' west side, close to Santa Monica. With the onset of war against Japan and the growing apprehension of a potential air attack or invasion of the West Coast, thousands volunteered for wartime duties. Katie joined as an air raid warden, among 12,000 other volunteers in LA and its surrounding areas. On the early morning of February 25th, Katie received a call from her air raid supervisor, alerting her to an unidentified object near her home. Upon receiving the call, she ran to her window, and yeah, she saw it. She couldn't believe how big it was and how close it was to her place. She also noted its unusual appearance, unlike anything she had ever seen before. The object hovered in the sky, barely moving, and was visible to Katie and many others due to a citywide blackout. She emphasized its stunning appearance and again commented on its considerable size. Now, here comes the Army. The U.S. Army's anti-aircraft searchlights soon enveloped the object. Despite the Army's denying of deploying fighter planes, Katie literally witnessed aircraft approaching and then retreating from the object. She knows that they did. Ground artillery opened fire in a kinda pathetic attempt to hit the visiting UFO. The thing remained completely unscathed despite the bullet barrage. The encounter lasted more than a half an hour before the object disappeared. Eyewitnesses claim that there were multiple direct hits on the craft. They could hear bullets hitting it, yet it just hovered there and sustained 0 damage. Katie recalled the event as one of the most miraculous things of her life. What do we think this thing could be? And is anyone surprised that the government is trying to hide this? Me neither. This next story is from a Philip T. He wants to share an intriguing story about his grandfather's farm located in Liberty, North Carolina, a site he believes might be home to paranormal entities. He explains that the farm is steeped in history and even includes an ancient burial ground. Throughout his life, Philip has visited this farm many a time, and each time he's encountered a series of unexplainable events. He's noticed scurrying shadows out of the corner of his eye, objects moving without cause, and once, he and a few others saw a mysterious lady sweeping a room, and when they breached the room that she was sweeping, she vanished into thin air. On one particular evening, Philip and his dad were just outside the cemetery engaging in some low-light photography, aiming to photograph the stars. They didn't spot anything strange during the session, and honestly, Philip was surprised that they hadn't. But upon reviewing the photographs later, they discovered an unusual white formation that hadn't been apparent in person. In one of the photos, an odd white mass appears on the right side. A second snapshot from a different angle captures the same white entity. A third picture validates its existence once more, consistently hovering over the same exact tombstone. Driven by curiosity, Philip investigated the specific grave the following day and learned that it belonged to a little girl who died in 1966. Sadly, just 3 years after she was born. Additional photos seem to capture an unclear shape near the headstones, potentially an example of pareidolia, a psychological phenomenon where people perceive recognizable shapes in vague visuals. However, another photograph presents further mysteries. It shows the graveyard at nighttime. We can see that it's lit up from a nearby church. All appears ordinary, until we notice a man's silhouette. It contrasts with the other shadows that correspond with the light. Initially, Philip assumed it was his own shadow, but then recognized that his was cast in the bottom corner of the image. The shadow in question does not follow the light's direction. Now, if we take into account Philip's lifelong encounters at the farm, along with these odd photographs and the existence of the old cemetery, it certainly suggests the possibility of supernatural occurrences. Alright, so I have to ask you guys, what do we think of Philip's story? Do we think there are ghosts lingering around this property, or is he just having a little fun with us? By now, we've all seen and heard a bunch of Bigfoot stories. They all have the same characteristics. Big hairy creature trying to avoid the camera, stomping around the woods. But this clip, I don't know. A park ranger up in Canada managed to capture Bigfoot on camera right after it went hunting. The video shows this massive furry creature just making its way through the trees. But check that out. It looks like it's got something in its hand. Something it's just caught. Now, from the look of it, it looks like it's something with feathers. A chicken, maybe a turkey or some other bird. You can see the bipedal creature, but it doesn't even seem like he knows he's being filmed. I don't know, I thought this one was pretty cool because Bigfoot's not just wandering around or hiding, he's got dinner in its grip. The one bit of skepticism I see is that its mannerisms are really human-like. It almost has a little bounce in its step and sway in its arms. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. In this video clip, which was later shared across Facebook, we get a glimpse of security camera footage showing a car parked on a street. A man casually approaches the vehicle and seems to be rummaging through the driver's seat. Out of the blue, this eerie, almost transparent figure materializes right behind him. It's there for a split second before vanishing into thin air. Now, here's the intriguing part. The man seems to sense something unusual. It's as if he feels a gentle nudge or a light tap on his shoulder. He immediately turns around to see what or who might be behind him, but when he does, there's absolutely no one there. As of now, we don't have any more details or information about what's going on in this mysterious footage. But what do you guys think? In this clip, a man is following a friend to a party. At first glance, the video seems pretty ordinary and routine, but if you watch closely, just a few moments in, something peculiar catches the eye. Behind the vehicle, there's what appears to be a figure standing completely still, eerily ghost and spirit-like. Now, the video quality is definitely grainy, but there's a noticeable outline of this figure. Intriguingly, it appears to be draped in a white robe. You can tell the mysterious figure doesn't stay for long. Slowly, almost like a mist, it begins to fade until it's entirely gone, vanishing into thin air. If you zoom in for a closer look, you can see that the figure is almost transparent. Naturally, this video has sparked a flurry of questions and speculations. Some are wondering if it's an optical illusion or just a trick of the light. Others are convinced it's evidence of a haunted stretch of road. Whatever the case, the clip certainly leaves us with more questions than answers. This video captured by a dash cam in Russia shows an incident on a highway. While vehicles are moving, a tractor trailer starts to swerve unexpectedly, almost hitting cars coming from the opposite direction. Initially, it's unclear to the driver why the truck is swerving, but soon the reason is visible. A man in a lab coat appears suddenly. There have been various theories to explain this strange occurrence. One suggestion is that the man is a time-traveling scientist who made a teleportation error. But if that's not weird enough, the man can be seen crossing the road in front of the truck. And the puzzling part is his reaction after narrowly escaping being run over. He calmly turns, puts his hands in his pocket, and walks away. Lastly, we're wondering why he's even crossing the road. There's nothing but open fields on the other side. Where could he be going? Check this crazy clip out. We see a man come out of this guard shack, just stretching his legs, when out of nowhere a freaking wolf comes up from behind him. He attacks him and latches onto his arm. Luckily, he shakes him off. Well, I guess I should say the wolf decided he didn't want to pursue this. Wolves are typically cautious animals that avoid close interactions with humans whenever possible. It's definitely uncharacteristic for wolves to attack humans due to a combination of natural wariness and learned behavior from encounters with humans over time. The reason of the attack is still unclear. Sometimes disease or starvation can spur a random attack. Wolves suffering from diseases such as rabies can become aggressive and unpredictable. And in situations where natural prey is scarce, wolves might take greater risks, potentially leading them to confront humans. This security guard has quite the story. This is said to be just a beautiful shot of a 200-pound plus timber wolf. I mean, he's huge. Wolves weighing over 200 pounds are exceptionally rare, and most wolves will never reach that weight in the wild. The average size of a timber wolf varies depending on the region they live in. Adult male wolves typically weigh between 70 to 145 pounds, and females usually weigh about 60 to 100 pounds. Just a beautiful creature, not a care in the world. At the start of this alarming clip, a large black bear spotted trailing the scent of a man sitting in a tree stand. Upon noticing the ladder that leads to him, the man becomes aware of the serious risk he faced as the predator approaches. When things start to get a little too close for comfort and the bear starts to climb the ladder,
"Hey, what are you doing there? What are you doing there?"
the man lets him know he's there. The bear then backtracks and flees into the woods, leaving the man safe. This really is a good example of that saying, "They're more afraid of us than we are of them." That bear just took off. A popular video going around on X shows an old lady sitting by herself on a simple bench at night. You probably noticed, but the spooky part is there's something with glowing eyes hiding right behind her, looking like it's about to pounce. Well, you guessed it. Out of nowhere, this thing jumps at the lady from behind. She loses her footing and tips over. But she doesn't give up. She grabs her cane, whips it at the animal, and eventually gets it to run off into the night. Now, as for where this went down, the Eerie Forest, part of the Eerie milk colony near Sanjay Gandhi National Park. A big forest that's like a green wall between the wild and the city of Mumbai. Basically, it's one of the few green spots left over there. Now, in the States, we would be almost positive that that's a mountain lion, but this creature is actually a leopard. The adjacent forest is known for leopard sightings. I'm blown away how this lady kept her cool and was able to fight off this leopard. I mean, obviously that's no easy feat. But I just can't imagine really living in a place where I'm sitting in my backyard. I've said this before, but any place that butts up to the woods, man, you just have to always be on your P's and Q's. You never know, you might be out enjoying a cocktail and boom, a mountain lion pounces. Nevertheless, awesome clip, glad she's okay. Pet doors or doggy doors are an awesome invention. They let your pet come and go as they please. But there's a twist. Sometimes they let in more than just your pet. Take this homeowner's story for example. He kept noticing his dog's food was vanishing day by day, and he could never figure out who the culprit was. Yet lo and behold, deer were sneaking in through the doggy door, attracted by the smell of the dog food. The homeowner actually thought it was pretty funny. I mean, it's amazing for sure. He summed it up as the deer just looking for a snack. They weren't even scared off by the homeowner. It seemed like they were used to people giving them food, so the guy just decided to go with it. After the snack, the deer left the way they came. Now this is a cute story, but if it were me, I would be thinking, well, a deer fit through there. I wonder what other animals can fit through there. I might have to block that at night. Anyhow, pretty cool story. Check out this TikTok that's grabbed everyone's attention. A mom and her son are jogging on this beautiful trail, enjoying a normal day outside, getting some exercise and soaking in the peace of nature. But at the end of the trail, things get a little wild. The kid sees a big rock and, being a curious little guy, decides to climb it, not knowing that something dangerous is hiding in the background. And that's when they get the shock of their lives. A huge bear just pops out of thin air super close to this kid. But here's the good part. The kid doesn't freeze. He jumps down from the rock and bolts to his mom faster than lightning. Luckily for both of them, the bear doesn't chase. He just runs off and disappears to the left, down the hill, and into some bushes. As for the mom and son, well, of course they're shaken up, but who wouldn't be? However, they're also safe, and that's what matters. Their hearts were racing, but they walked away with no injuries. This is a good heads up to never drop your guard when you're out in the wild. No matter how beautiful nature can be, it can throw you some curveballs. Animals could be anywhere, and they always have the potential to show up when you least expect it. Mixed in with all of the genuine Bigfoot sightings, there are many that have been exposed as hoaxes. Well, the footage we're about to see is one of the clearest captures of Bigfoot. It was recorded in broad daylight in the woods. The person filming was in a higher vantage point. As soon as they saw the unusual creature's presence, they started filming. The video begins and the creature emerges, seemingly disturbed from hiding in the bushes. He quickly takes off. The video mainly shows the creature's back as it escapes into the woods. And it's clear that this isn't a bear or any other known animal. A lot of commenters have doubts though. They claim that generally Bigfoots are thought to have disproportionately long arms compared to their bodies, unlike humans. But in this footage, the creature's body proportions seem more human-like. Anyhow, this video clip has been quite the heated debate. The next video submission begins with a distressing scene of a bobcat caught in a leg hold trap set by the person filming. The man attempts to secure the animal using a catch pole, but a struggle ensues. As the confrontation continues, the bobcat begins to weaken.
Come on, act right. Here we go.
Once he's fully released, the man tries to rouse him up, which turns out to be a minor mistake as the bobcat reacts aggressively. Despite the tense moments, both the man and the animal ended up unharmed after this intense encounter. I'm curious what the man is trying to trap if he's not trying to catch a bobcat. Let me know in the comments if you have any ideas. One awesome sunny day, a woman named Jessica figured it was a great time to get the kids outside for some fun. The weather was spot on for running around the yard, snapping pictures, and just hanging out together. In the first photo she took, her son's doing his own thing on the lawn, and she's just admiring him as he's doing his own thing all on his lonesome. As she's sitting there about to start her book, she starts scrolling through her pictures. She notices that there's another little boy in the picture with her son. The photo's a bit fuzzy, so you can't really make out his face. But the weird part is Jessica doesn't remember another little boy being there. She looks around and keeps scrolling. She gets to the last photo and this one really throws her for a loop. It's got her son and daughter in it, but there's this same blurry little boy again. And now she's on her P's and Q's and looks around and there are no other children here. To make things even creepier, now he's further off in the distance just staring at the kids. I'm the first one to say it. Little kid entities or ghosts or spirits freak me out. And if you look at this photo, it gives you chills. I mean, this looks like a ghost. He's transparent and mist-like. Jessica uploaded it online and everyone has a theory about the blurry kid. Some folks think that there actually was a kid there and it's just blurry because he moved when she clicked the picture. But Jessica is adamant that there were no other kids there. I always wonder about these types of things. These kids that are ghosts, I know that they're attracted to other ghost kids when they're playing. They can either join in without having to worry about being seen, and they know kids are less judgmental if they do reveal their true selves. Nevertheless, this has people scratching their heads. Do we think this is a ghost kid just wanting to play along? A video going around on Instagram is showing someone hiking and recording their walk. At first, everything's fine, but then a strange noise is heard. It starts like a faint sizzle and then turns into a low, freaky rumble. People are all over the place about what's making the sound. Some are dead sure it's an animal, like a bear or a cougar, but others are tossing around wilder ideas. Ghosts, other paranormal entities and creatures. Folks are debating in the comments. One guy's like, if that's for real, why doesn't the hiker just book it out of there? But nope, the hiker just keeps on trekking. Either this is really gutsy or just not thinking straight. And the worst part is the video just stops right there. No clue what happens next. Did the hiker keep going after hearing the noise, or did they decide better safe than sorry and turn around? So what about you? If you were in these shoes, what would you do? Are you pushing ahead out of curiosity? Or are you playing it smart, turning around and getting the heck out of Dodge? Mitch Cooney uploaded a clip on Facebook that's got everyone talking. It's from a dash cam and it shows a car driving down a road at night. But here's the thing that everyone's talking about. On the left side of the road, there's what looks like a child, just standing there, not moving. People on Facebook who've watched the video say the kid, who's wearing light blue clothes, looks really pale. Like really, really pale. With skin that seems almost see-through. And what's stranger is this kid isn't reacting to any of the cars zooming by. That's pretty weird. I mean, 10 times out of 10, a real kid would be scared or at least trying to get out of the way. That's why most people are thinking this is a ghost. However, some people think it could be something more sinister, whether it's a spirit or a group that has put a fake kid out there to freak out all the drivers. As far as my opinion, considering the kid's strange color and how he's just hanging out there while all the cars are flying by, I feel like it's either some sort of optical illusion, a hoax, but I'm almost certain it's not a regular kid. Either way, it's one odd situation that's fun to guess about. This video starts with two hunters filming several elk they intend to hunt. To draw the elk closer, they use a call that imitates elk sounds while they get ready. A few minutes in, the elk scatter suddenly, puzzling the hunters, who are trying to figure out what's going on now. As they move towards the elk's last known location, they pause right in their tracks. There's been quite the development. They look up and they see a pack of wolves. That explains where the elk went. For the next 30 minutes, a group of wolves will disperse and patrol the area, tracking the hunters. You can see them going in and out of the woods, flanking them to the left and the right. The hunters are determined to stay calm, and luckily for them, eventually the wolves leave. While part of them wanted to continue the hunt, they didn't want to push their luck. So they packed it up. I think that was a smart decision. This next picture, taken in the jungles of Brazil, leaves us scratching our heads. With nothing but unknown creature found in Amazon as the title and zero backstory, we're left with more questions than answers about this pic. This gangly creature is really a sight to behold. I mean, if you go up and down the limbs, just look at this thing. You can get an idea of the size of it by looking at the guy holding it. The hands and feet are strange. The feet actually look like hands. This thing is creepy. One set of viewers pointed out that this is definitely edited because you can clearly see the blurriness of the plants around the creature. I mean, yeah, I guess anything's possible. I'd say most people are leaning towards this being a hoax. Or as one person put it, believability is hanging by a thread. I don't know. I'm not as quick to jump on the bandwagon. I want a little more information about this thing. Pretty creepy footage here captured by the paranormal hunter Dark Dimension. A dashcam picks up footage as you see this car passing through a tunnel at night. On the wrong side of the road. Just kidding. Right as the car passes through the end of the tunnel, it immediately runs through a mist-like figure. What was that? Let's slow it down and watch it again. This farmer came up with an ingenious way to get his beloved chicken some exercise. He built each one a circular contraption out of wire that allows them to walk around. When asked why he didn't just let his chickens roam free, he first addressed how important the bloodlines are of some of these chickens, and also explained that around the area where he lives, there are many raptor birds and other predatory animals. What do you guys think about this? I think the idea is brilliant, but if I was a chicken, I don't think I'd love it. A Reddit user posted some pretty weird security camera footage, and it's got people scratching their heads. The owner said they got a movement alert from their coffee shop when it was closed. Worried about a break-in, they checked the place but found nothing wrong. No signs of anyone breaking in or anything. So everything's fine, but the owner still wants to know what set off the alert. They look at the video and see, at just after 9 p.m., this quick shadow zips through the camera shot. Some folks on Reddit think it might be a bug on the lens, but then others say a bug wouldn't be enough to trip the cafe's motion sensors. Then it gets weirder, when some people start saying the shadow looks like a dog running past. Others have mentioned that this could be a goblin or a shadow person, so now everyone has even more questions. How does a dog, a goblin, or any other creature go sprinting through a locked up cafe and then just disappear? No clues, nothing. Everyone's throwing around guesses, trying to figure it out, but so far, it has everyone stumped. Check out this TikTok that's grabbed everyone's attention. A mom and her son are jogging on this beautiful trail, enjoying a normal day outside, getting some exercise and soaking in the peace of nature. But at the end of the trail, things get a little wild. The kid sees a big rock and, being a curious little guy, decides to climb it, not knowing that something dangerous is hiding in the background. And that's when they get the shock of their lives. A huge bear just pops out of thin air super close to this kid. But here's the good part. The kid doesn't freeze. He jumps down from the rock and bolts to his mom faster than lightning. Luckily for both of them, the bear doesn't chase. He just runs off and disappears to the left, down the hill, and into some bushes. As for the mom and son, well, of course they're shaken up, but who wouldn't be? However, they're also safe, and that's what matters. Their hearts were racing, but they walked away with no injuries. This is a good heads up to never drop your guard when you're out in the wild. No matter how beautiful nature can be, it can throw you some curveballs. Animals could be anywhere. and they always have the potential to show up when you least expect it. A cool video here of a fox attempting to rob the nest of a hawk. Many are wondering why he would scale a tree to a nest when there's probably much easier prey laying on the ground. Well, this nest is actually on a rock formation, so he just crept himself right up the side. The fox's nose brought him here for the eggs, but Mama is not going to have that. He's definitely sizing up the situation. On a side note, look how hard this hawk is sleeping. Slumped over, I mean, she is out. The fox eventually makes some racket and Mama Hawk awakens, leading to the fox exiting as quickly as he came, which I think was a wise decision. This next clip is from an oil rig off the eastern seaboard of the United States in the Atlantic Ocean. Far, but not as far out as you might think from a popular vacation destination. Check out the creature as it swims by. Now, when this footage was released, a lot of people went wild. They wanted to know the exact location, which company owned the oil rig, a plethora of things. Then, after it was online for a few days, some comments started to trickle in about this being a mosasaurus, a prehistoric dinosaur that is said to be extinct. I'd say now the camps are completely split. Some are saying it's a fake mosasaurus, while others aren't so sure. One explanation is that whatever caused the extinction of dinosaurs might not have hit the depths that these monsters lived. That seems pretty solid to me, actually. Let me know what you think. This next clip is security cam footage from a house that really has people talking. So this family, they have a nurse who comes in to help with their granddad. There's a camera in the living room and that snaps pictures when it spots movement. This is something very common when you employ an elderly caretaker. Usually the camera just catches normal stuff, the nurse doing her thing, anyone else that might come and go, eating meals, exercising, etc. As you can see in the video, around 10 a.m. it's just an empty room. Most of the time, they get so many alerts because people are moving around in there, so they don't check often. However, one morning around 1:23 a.m., they got an image that's just odd. It caught their attention because of the odd hours of the movement, and you can see an all-black figure that looks like the shadow of a person, but you can't make out any features. Here's where it gets even weirder. 7 minutes after the spooky picture, another photo shows the room's back to normal. Granddad's gone, and so is the red cup that was on his table earlier. As we fast forward, everything's back in place by the next morning. The person who posted the clip tried to think it through. She mentioned that her aunt is in some of the photos with a walker, but she'd be taller than this figure if it was her. The Reddit detectives got a hold of this and they are all over it. Some are dead set on it being something supernatural like a ghost. Others think it's just a camera glitch or someone messing with the photos. Then you have the skeptics who say that without more evidence or someone professional to check it out, saying it's a ghost is just jumping the gun. What do you guys think? Coming up, we've got a security video from a Facebook post that's stirring up some buzz. It's set in an outdoor parking lot at night and it's all quiet, not a soul around. But keep your eyes peeled, because soon you'll spot something pretty incredible. There's this pair of odd figures strolling through, robed from head to toe. You can't see any part of them. People are tossing around tons of guesses about these mysterious figures. They talked about figures of Celtic lore dating back to Roman times. But what do we think these things could be? Are these figures of old protectors hanging around to keep watch over the place? Are they drawn to some kind of unseen danger we can't see? No one has the answers, but it sure gets you thinking. A couple's home security photos have been causing quite the stir online. Captured by a camera at their front door, the images show a white figure sitting on a neighbor's truck. A figure that was invisible to the human eye and only showed up on camera. Now, I'm sure it goes without saying, but this sparked tons of online chatter. The man also had a creepy story to go with the pics. Quote, "Dogs were going crazy, barking all night. I went outside to look around, but I didn't find anything. When I checked the footage, the Ring camera showed the white figure sitting on my neighbor's truck. I went back out to check, but nothing was there. This is really freaking me out." End quote. It was the relentless barking of the dogs that made the homeowner check outside. Like he said, nothing seemed out of place. However, the camera told a different story. Every playback revealed this white figure sitting on the truck. Hours later, the photo showed that the figure had left the truck. This weird discrepancy has the homeowner going back and forth, trying to match the real-time view with what the camera captured. It's just a mess. No matter how many times he checked in real time, the figure wasn't there. It was on the camera only. So is this another glitch or something unexplainable? This seems like a lot of glitches. I'm thinking this is some type of spirit, but if you think otherwise, let me know in the comments. Let's get this figured out. Filmed by a man named Andre on a clear night with the full moon shining bright, he spotted some weird stuff in the sky and just had to film it. He's got a powerful telescope and a sharp camera, which is how he got such great shots of the moon, even from way down here on Earth. Then, out of the blue, these 3 round spots show up over the moon, lined up in this perfect row. But that's just for starters. Pretty soon, there's more of these things, just popping up like they're being scattered across the moon. Andre's no newbie to stargazing. He's been at it for about 20 years with a deep fascination for the moon, and he's even seen what he's adamant are UFOs. He says these particular things in this video that he's caught on camera are flying super high, like 500 kilometers up. So what's the deal? Is this the proof of aliens we've all been waiting for, or is there some simple explanation for these black dots? Our next clip shows footage of a bunch of guys out frog hunting in the dead of night. They weren't looking for anything but frogs, and also we call this gigging where I grew up. But they got a little more than they bargained for. While they were on the lookout, one of the guys shone his light toward the trees, and that's when the camera caught something. A slight movement off in the distance. Zooming in, they saw a creature making a break for it. Clearly not interested in a meet and greet with these people. What's weird is the figure's getup wasn't your average outdoor gear, and you couldn't really make out its face or anything. The video's too fuzzy for details. Driven by a mix of nerves and nosiness, the hunters tried to follow it, but whatever it was quick. So what do we think here? Is this the person just trying to scare the others? Did we capture an alien or a ghost? Maybe even a lizard man? None of that is out of the realm of possibility. Pretty cool video here. A guy flying a drone far off in the distance sees a bird stalking his drone from above, when all of a sudden, a hawk swoops down at Mach 10 speed and clips it out of the air. Man, I wish the camera would have gotten that. Anyhow, it picks up the footage on the ground, which is awesome enough. We can see the hawk wondering what the heck this thing is. You can see he gives a little kick to the drone, hangs out for a little bit longer. He eventually figures out this isn't something I can eat. I'm out of here. As this drone flies over the beautiful beaches of Jamaica, taking in the scenery, what in the world? This pelican that's asleep at the wheel smashes right into it. I mean, I have to admit, that's pretty insane. I really wonder how that happens. I know God gave these guys built-in radar, and most birds can turn on a dime, so what the heck happened here? A family in search of a beautiful sunset took to this field and sent their drone up. The drone captures a beautiful sun setting behind these mountains. In their footage, they also captured a sheep just hanging out in a field. As the drone is doing flips and twists and turns, the family actually loses connection to the drone and it falls from the sky. And the next bit of footage is gold. As the drone gets about eye level to the sheep, he just rams it. This is just great footage. They were able to capture the sunset and this awesome video of this sheep doing this. This intriguing security footage from a homeowner was posted online. So the owner's checking out their camera feed and spots a shoe in the middle of their kitchen. They put these cameras up because some weird things have been happening at their house. And this shoe in the kitchen? That's pretty bizarre, not something you'd expect to see, especially if it's not your shoe. When they look closer, it's like the shoe just blinked into place, no warning or anything. And even stranger, the man walks right by it without even a second glance. So did it just appear out of thin air? Is it not even there? Many are saying that this is just a glitch in the Matrix moment, one of those things that people joke about online. It is a real brain teaser because 1 second the shoe isn't there in the video, and then the next, boom, it's right there on the floor. As always, this could be some clever video editing, but if it's not, very creepy for the homeowners. This next video is intriguing as it is spooky. It's from a backyard night vision security cam, and it's not the kind of stuff we see every day. This household's been talking about some strange ghost-like goings-on for a while now. So this latest clip didn't exactly come out of the blue for them. Even nearby neighbors get the heebie-jeebies when they pass this place. It's not just a daytime thing either. Once the sun sets, that's when the real crazy stuff kicks off. On one of these nights, the camera caught a figure popping out of the well house, and then just like that, it's gone into the night. But hold on, it gets weirder. The people living there once found a buried, burnt up motorhome in their backyard. Now they're wondering if maybe this old motorhome has some bad juju attached to it. Maybe something tragic happened in that motorhome. Maybe that's the link to all this eerie stuff happening. It's still a mystery, but every night seems to bring a new chapter to their ghost story. You can easily file these next clips under things you don't see every day. This video shows a moose enjoying the view from the roof of this convenience store. He obviously can't get down on his own, but the real question is how he got up there in the first place. Those hooves aren't quite conducive to climbing up hard surfaces. Nevertheless, rescuers eventually were called and they got the moose down. Another instance of a moose landing himself in a place he shouldn't be. We see this guy on the roof of a carport. He's in the snow, so at least he looks like he's where he's supposed to be. Now, luckily for rescuers, they didn't have to show up to get this guy down. However, unfortunately for a car owner, when his car broke the fall of this big moose. This is just a hysterical video. Watch this. This guy comes out of the store and gets his cat and has to drag his cat away so he doesn't get in a fight with this other cat. This is hysterical. Look at how he's dragging the cat. I feel like this must happen every day. Quite the rivalry on this block, it seems.